Hello and welcome back to SiGMA TV. This is Yanni Collins, and here with me is Andrea McGeachin. She is the Chief Commercial Officer at Neosurf, a global payment solution provider. Andrea, thank you so much for being here. I know that you have exciting news coming out from your company. I heard there's a lot of growth, new partnerships, and a lot of expansion overall with Neosurf right now. So tell me the good news. Where is this growth coming from and what it means for you?
We are growing at a phenomenal pace, employing more people all the time, which is in itself a tough job because we can't get over the growth, and it's not just to do with COVID; it's just generally. But actually, it's an approach. It's the way we are approaching it. We're a payment method, and we do believe that the basics of our payments that we do should be done correctly. But the difference is if we have a good approach, and that's something that's right across my team. I'm so proud of it, is that we see it as a vital thing, that we're actually working for the operators and their customers and their players. So we take client relationships so seriously. We start to measure ourselves. We ask people whether we've satisfied them. And we started that about 12 months ago, just over. The team that do the support and the account management, we're getting scores of over 96%. And I asked them to get over 90. And it's just brilliant that we engage and we take care. And it's not a normal thing in payments. I'm not saying there aren't others that do it, but I've been in various business over the years, and I think it's important. Getting the payment right, being in the right place, getting the fees right, they're basics. That's the core of what we do. Getting the relationship right, listening, not just telling. No surprises, trying to work with people, regulatory changes. Holland at the moment, the Netherlands, is making sure everybody's in the right place at the right time and everybody's working. That's what's our piece. And we are not just getting new business, but we're maintaining it, and then we're growing it, and then we're adding countries that we can deliver to them. And it's a joy, really. It's some of the conversations that you have in this space can be very challenging. And how do you deal with stuff? And I've got a team of really, really, really smart people, and they all care. They all care. And that's the beauty of it. And when we go out to different places, and I know we've been in the digital world for so long, but recently we've been able to get out and have conversations, and it shows, and we get the right feedback, and the results pass on. So our main growth is because of that, but that's notwithstanding the kind of things that we're bringing in and the innovation. I'll talk to you about that, but we've changed our approach on how we deliver as well. We're just a local payment method, but that kind of payment method is something that needs to work in those countries, be it in a regulation or the fact it converts easily, or we're making sure the fee's right. And if we go in the country, we stay in that country and we support the operators. That's really important. And we're trying to be ahead of the game all the time, so there's no surprises. Difficult, but we try. That's really where that type of growth is coming from, is that we're continuing to try. It's vital.
Outstanding. I love everything that you just mentioned. It's so motivational. It's so inspiring. And going back to what you said, the vital thing that for your growth is the approach. Now, could you give us the kind of structure that helps you achieve all of these goals that you have for your company?
Yeah. So pre-COVID, we had entered into. We're in a digital space, right? It's online gambling, and we're an online payment, but moving into making sure you've got digital platforms to communicate or know what's going on, started something that allowed us to become more international and collaborate, and not just collaborate with ourselves and our team, but obviously our key operators and payment service providers that we support as well. So we really, really went digital. And I'm laughing because the journey has not been the most amazing journey at the beginning. I've been in a stand-up before now, and a team member will have gone, "What, another platform? You want me to learn another platform?" We don't do masses of masses, we do control it. But we have managed to get into a position that when it became work from home, purely work from home in COVID, these things shone. And I don't just mean Zoom, Zoom's great. I mean, every single day, everybody goes from Zoom to Skype to Teams to Google Hangouts and back, and changing all your settings and everything. Now, this is more about we use a good CRM and support platform that the support team can see, but the salespeople can see and people can understand. So if it's a support person talking to an operator about an issue and we resolve that issue, but the salesperson's aware of it, and they're all different people that people are talking to. So from a structure point of view, it's openness, transparency amongst us, transparency to what we're talking about with our operators, but having access is digital platforms. And that's gone beyond now in the fact that we have a platform it's based out of Italy. It's called Tracti for our contracts and making sure everything's all nicely put together and simple. So you're still doing track changes, but you're able to upload KYC documents safely, and not everybody gets to see it. And actually, it just goes step by step. So things that are used to be quite complicated have changed. We were taking, I'm not really going to say the figure because I don't like the figure it would take for bringing onboarding a new operator, but it could have been over 3 months to 6 months, sometimes 6 months because of different issues of regulatory, but average of about 3 months. Our average right now is less than 6 weeks, and that's including contract, that's including onboarding of KYC, API integration, and getting it live. Now, again, it's a team that I've got and an approach, but it's actually having access to the information. I mean, that's only touching some of the surfaces of it. I used to work at UCash, which many of your viewers will recognize. And I left before they got bought by PaySafe, but I spent a spot of time there in the lending space, the digital lending space, and worked and learnt the benefits of artificial intelligence and decision science. And that's the other thing that we've done, is that we've got masses of data, of course, but it's what you do with that data, and then how other people who may not be data scientists, but giving them the information at their hands to go out there and communicate and work with the operators and share. And when I say data, I'm not talking about personal data, I'm talking about trends. I'm talking about, look at this happening. Oh, hold on a minute, we've spotted fraud. Let's be open and talking to people. So it's the pace. The pace that we can move at is all about what we've done, choosing smart platforms, bringing that on board of how we can use that to the benefit of our operators and then their players. And it's just rolling along into a fast pace. We've got all sorts of countries that are being added on at the moment. And if somebody had said that to me about 3 years ago, that you're going to do this much in this period of time, I would have said, no, let's focus, just do one thing. It's allowing us to still to focus, but be in control. And we also make sure that there is a human touch to it, and all our teams have daily stand-ups. It's like watching a developers team. Usually it's a software development team that do daily stand-ups, work in agile manners and sprints, etc. We all do it. It's an approach that we all do. So that cross communication across all the countries allows us to achieve and deliver. So it's a structure of openness and transparency backed up with a digital series of platforms that give the information they need. And it's good. So people don't moan at me now when we've got to use a certain platform, thankfully. Just get on, we do it and get results. It's great.
Amazing. I love it. There's so much gold nuggets into what you just said. Now, I want to get into innovation. What are the new aspects and facets that Neosurf have brought or you're bringing to the market?
Yeah, well, I'll give you an example. I mean, essentially, we've shifted onto a different platform use, which has transformed how we can deliver. And our tech team, I'm not Frederick, our CTO would criticize me if I tried to describe Laravel and all the applications, because that's his area, but they're a great team. They're all based out in France. But I'll give you an example of an execution that we did, is that we were forced to create something in the cashier page that's called a redirect. If people use PayPal, they'll recognize it. You go to use it and then you get a pop-up, etc. Traditionally, all that does is it kills conversion. I don't mean transactional conversion. You know, the technical transactional conversion is still strong. I think our latest is about 97%. Now I'm talking about the conversion of the customer. So if you go on a website, operators will recognize this better than anybody. It's the user experience of, do they stay with you? Do they finish it? Do they actually deposit, etc.? Our role in that is, does that deposit go through? And if they go into the cashier page and choose Neosurf, what's their experience that encourages that deposit to complete? And so we went off and got non-payment user experts. Hilarious sessions when we were going through that, because it was like, I don't know if that looks legal. No, it's a user experience of creative. It's still legal. Payments tend to become a little bit very boring and making sure it looks like a bank page. It doesn't have to do that. And we created this user experience. I didn't like it. When they first presented it, I went, I'm not sure. And then we put it to test, and then we've launched it out, and now we've rolled it out to about 80% of our operators and partners, and I can't get over the stats. The customers are actual first-time customers that approach onto the user experience. We've got a 38% uplift, a 38% uplift. We're a tiny percentage of the payment ecosystem in gambling, but tiny and important because we're local. We're not just another alternative payment method. That's such a big, wide thing. We're a local payment method. We reach the local players for our operators. And if we can make that local player press the N on the cashier page and then see an experience goes, oh, yeah, I'm doing that. Boom, and off it goes. That's what we've achieved. And we've done that by having innovative technology. We've had that by using expertise outside of gambling, outside of payments. Very, very smart user experience about consumer processes with an international side to it, because that was vital as well. And so I'm proud to say that innovation isn't just about technology. Innovation is about thinking about the whole experience. Our gambling operators are doing it every single day. It's the core of what their experience is. Payments and service providers to the operators, we need to catch up and do it. Payments don't need to be boring. Yeah, get your basics right, make sure it's legal, make sure your fees are right and the transaction happens. But let's make sure that we're doing the same kind of thing. So if I've gone on to an operator and I'm enjoying the experience, don't make me be frustrated and dislike the process once I've chosen which one on the cashier page. And I think that's one of the best things we've done in the last 12 months. There's a load of other stuff, but it's all around that. And it is about being different, about thinking about what it's got to do. And the player at the end of the day is key, and the players belong to the operators, so working with them as well it's been amazing to get that 80% level of people converting to this. And it's just an API upgrade. It's not any massive integration, and it's been really successful. It's been really good.
Amazing. These are absolutely new, fresh ideas. I like that you think out of the box, and that is what would skyrocketed Neosurf on the market. And now when it comes to the future plans, now when it comes to the future plans for the coming year, 2022, how time flies, right? Tell us, what is in store?
So there's a lot in store, especially with the innovation. So with all of our applications are being reworked with this use of the new platform we use. More than anything, there's access for the operators to get into their accounts, and all this information that we've got, not just waiting for a sales meeting and conversation or a trade show, access to that in their back end management side. And it's not just your boring transactional data, or did that payout work, or how many have I done in this country, how many have done that. It's actually going to be an engaging piece where they can start to see the growth. But it's new countries too. The biggest feedback we got back at the mid 2019, early 2020, was that people liked us. We were doing a good job, but we weren't wide enough spread as our main competitor. And as much as Neosurf is not just France, which it was back in 2004, we weren't getting that across, and we also weren't delivering. We needed more countries. And There's a bit of a sad story in this, but I will talk about it openly because it's a legacy that we're all living with. Is that we brought back in one of our guys who was my colleague from UCAS, Martin Prout, and he came back in at the beginning of this year, the end of last year, beginning of this year, and ramped up the relationships with the country operations. So the people who distribute, the people who give regulation, all the area for us to actually launch within a country or expand within a country. Sadly, Martin passed away suddenly in May, and it was very sad. It was very poignant for all of us because we all loved Martin, but he set out something that was phenomenal. And we'd got this guy together who was working with us in Europe, Daniele, and he has taken up Martin's position and really enabled that to ramp up. That we didn't think we would get there by the end of this year, but the country territory growth is just amazingly phenomenal. We're going to be, I think, this is where Daniele, if he watches this and I get this wrong, I apologize in advance, Daniele. I believe it's 8 countries in LATAM, which is great. A couple of countries that may not be necessarily significant in all of gambling. So India and Japan. It's more to do with our esports and our games position. Expanding right across our European position. We were live in all of the right countries, but maybe not enough areas to make it worth our competitive position, and that's strengthening beyond belief. Baltics, Central European, that's amazing growth across there. So we've got all of this going, and then we are in the process. And again, this is a video, so I should be careful about. I'm not promising it because it's been a long path, but we're very hopeful about the USA, and we took our time with the USA. We felt that it was going to be too many people. Oh yeah, let's go and grab all that money. Let's go and grab all that volume. And in our world, and I've worked in the US before. UCAS actually had an operation over there, not gambling, of course, but we took our time, and we've got an amazing country manager, the MD of the US, working with us over there. We've got amazing support with the bank, with lawyers, brilliant new compliance officer that's come and brought us a whole lot of extra information. And user experience, we've brought in a couple of suppliers that support us with the user experience. So that will also be a big thing. But it's massive country growth. And it's like, hold on a second, how much are we doing? Are we all right? And we are. We're all right because we've got a good team. We're all right because we've got good systems. And at the heart of it, we deal with the core competence of things like regulatory and compliance and making sure technically it works. But at the end of the day, it's about, can that player use Neosurf easily, simply? And that's what we're doing. So it's actually repeat, but make it local. And that's what we're doing. And we're working with a lot of other local payment methods in some of these countries who can come in and use our access of our services. So in some of those LATAM countries, the names that everybody will know if they're working out of some of those countries is they will be able to convert into the Neosurf to pay at the favorite sites that are allowed, and do that in a smart way that's not a problem for the player and doesn't suddenly increase masses of fees. We're not in it to do that. We have to make profit, but we're not. There's a number of our competitors in our space that like to make sure there's a bigger margin. We're keeping ourselves lean, working smart, and the fee structure is important. And we take it seriously to make sure that we can all share in what the profit is, but not at the expense of just one party. So we working very hard to make that work. And again, pleased with what Daniele's work of taking what Martin had created upwards has just been fantastic. And I'm very excited about 2022. I'm also quite scared because it's a lot, but feel the fear and do it anyway. That's what we're going to do.
Very inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing that story. It makes us appreciate more of your progress and your success. And Andrea, Neosurf has been attending and sponsoring and supporting almost every event in this space. And I keep on hearing about coffee and your marketing scheme. Could you enlighten us about this one?
This is about SiGMA, so this is a bit of an unusual story, but it is a legacy that we've created. I have to. I don't know how much longer we've got, but I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. When I was at UCash, I left UCash and went into the lending space, and I remember leaving Earl's Court ICE. So those of you who may be listening to this remember that, you'll know how long ago that was. And I thought, well, that's that. That's my last ICE, and I walked away. Here I am at Neosurf, back into ICE. ICE is not cheap, but you got to be there. If you're a provider to the operators, you need to be there. And if you're not there, it's a problem. Now you need to be at SiGMA, you need to be at a lot of these places. So, but ICE was quite expensive, and that time we were just changing across and growing. And somebody in our marketing team had an idea. I said, how about that back wall? How about taking this small space? How about getting a barista? And how about giving really good coffee and people walking around with a coffee cup? Massive marketing idea. Tiny little booth. Victim of our own success. We're the third most visited booth at ICE. We are allowed to open a little bit earlier so that people are all on their own booths can get coffee. And the secret was that we make sure that coffee's damn good coffee. And we then started to get to know, and people call it the Neosurf coffee booth or the coffee shop. It's free, of course, to them. And then we did it again, and then we did it again. And sadly, obviously, with COVID, all of us have not been able to be at different shows, etc. That's why we're excited about SiGMA as well. But we've got to be known as coffee. So during COVID, we sent out some coffee survival kits, and some of it was sadly instant coffee, but it's the only way we could ship it out. And then we created, there's a company called Biscuiteers who created a beautiful handmade biscuit, and the icing looked like the Neosurf coffee cup, and we sent that out. And we hadn't realized how much the coffee association with Neosurf personality was true. You were doing a lot of people at the booth. And so we add coffee now where we go. So wherever we go, we add the bit of coffee to it. I wanted to send Ian to Malta on a little tuk-tuk with a coffee thing behind and go around and see everybody in Malta. I still think Ian Nicholson's going to do that, guys. So if anybody's watching here from Malta, we'll get him over. I think in summer next year, we'll get him out there. Trust me, he ain't going to cycle the tutu, but he'll serve you the coffee, I promise you. It's just become a sub-brand of what we do. And so we make sure that people get good coffee, but it does more than that. And if people go on our website, on the business website, a marketing guy wrote a poem. Sounds a bit odd, doesn't it, in gambling and payments, which I talk about poems, but about what coffee is. And I'm not going to quote it all, but there's a fundamental part of it that, be it you're a coffee drinker or not, of course we do tea and everything else, but it's people together and having an open and honest conversation, and then that conversation turning into something that is deliverable, and then doing what you said you were going to do. And that's the heart of what we do, and that's what our coffee is about. We say we're taking you places, and that's exactly what we're doing, and that's exactly what we want to do, and we want to do it with a smile. And then the smile is all a part about what our team is, and that's what it's it. That's it. That's what Neosurf is about. Be them in France, be them the developers in Israel, and we've got some salespeople there. Be it the team, the commercial team and compliance and support here in the UK. Then you got the US, and people in Australia and Canada. It's just a team, and getting the majority of those people together this Christmas season at a Christmas party, and then letting them have fun. Everything that they're doing in all that growth means everything to Nicholas, the president, everything, and myself, and that's the theme of what we are. We work really, really hard and love this industry. We're proud to work in this industry. We don't consider it to be a don't tell anybody at a dinner party kind of thing. We talk about it straight up, and we're proud to be a payments method in it. And so we'll keep the coffee going and making sure it's good coffee for that honest and transparent conversation, and doing what we said we would do. And that's where we come from. That's if we're going to have all that growth in 2022, that's why feel the fear and do it anyway, because we can. Because we can.
Wow, that is just a powerful message coming from you, Andrea. I love how you talk about it so passionately and so enthusiastically. It's just amazing talking to you. You're such a breath of fresh air, and I couldn't think of a better way to connect with people than over a cup of coffee. It's indeed a universal language, and it sounds like you have an exciting times coming your way. Neosurf, congratulations
Yeah.
on the milestone. We look forward to watching your progress and to seeing more of your success. Thank you so much once again, Andrea, for joining me. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we look forward to seeing you in November.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's really exciting that it's happening in live. So my team are like can't wait to get out there. So it's really cool. Really cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that is it for myself and Andrea. Catch Neosurf at the SiGMA Europe on November 16th to the 19th. Do not miss out. To know more information, you can head on to sigma.world and we'll see you there.